In the huge variety of a world dominated by the vastness of time and space, what better feeling than to discover places that you have only read or heard about and thought that you will see for yourself sometime. A lovely cluster of old and new buildings, a city whose lively spirit and delightful atmosphere will sweep you off your feet, Zagreb is still a secret to many Romanians. But it is a city where you will spend either a great weekend or a lovely vacation. We've decided to take a stroll through Zagreb, and we advise you to wear comfortable shoes, because we leave early in the morning and we'll be back long after sunset.
We are in Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. I am Dora, a local guide. If you ever come to visit Zagreb, I'll be more than happy to show you around.
There are many pedestrian areas in Zagreb, especially in the old town, galleries and museums, cafes and terraces. Although Zagreb today is a modern city, people here have not forgotten the pleasure to chat over a cup of coffee. In fact, Croats really like coffee and can talk for hours. Through its diversity and culture, this town knows how to conquer your heart. It makes you pay more attention to detail. Zagreb will awake each one of your senses, and it will seduce you. A smile on someone's face or a beautiful warm evening are reasons enough to be happy. Zagreb is one of those places which should be discovered outside the beaten paths of mass tourism. Associated with a color, it could be blue. Blue are the trams in Zagreb, trams that you will see nowhere else but in Zagreb, since they are made by a local company. The tram is the star of the public transport in Zagreb, so much that it even has its own fan base on the internet. Not only are the trams in Zagreb very nice, but they are also very silent and passenger-friendly. Zagreb is different from the other towns you know, and there are many reasons why. One of them is the funicular, which takes you in about a minute from downtown Ilica Street, the longest in Zagreb, in the upper town. The funicular in Zagreb is the same blue color as its cousin, the tram. In the beginning, it functioned on steam. Zagreb's 66-meter-long funicular is one of the shortest in the world, and so its participation in public transport is minor. But since it kept its original appearance and most of the technical characteristics, the funicular is considered a cultural monument. It passes 4,000 kilometers a year and carries around 750,000 passengers. The funicular goes up and down every 10 minutes, and it is said that in more than 1 century of its existence, there was not a single accident or injured passenger. In the midday sun, traders in the market are sheltered by the heat under bright red umbrellas. Their colors and patterns mirror the folk costumes worn in the region of Zagreb. The most famous market is Dolac. It was established somewhere in the late 1920s on a terrace where several houses used to sit. but they were demolished for cleanliness reasons. Dolac is situated at the crossroads between the two medieval settlements of Zagreb, Gradec and Capitol, and right next to Ban Jelačić Square. Ban Jelačić Square is the main meeting place for citizens and tourists alike. When at noon you hear the deafening sound of a cannon, don't panic. It is only the cannon in the Losterčak Tower in Upper Town. For over 100 years it has been telling people the right time at 12 o'clock each day. In the past, the tower has been used as an observation point. Every day at noon, someone climbs in the tower and fires the cannon. Meet Alan Tutunzic, the cannon man. As a child, he wanted to become an English lord by the name of Michael of Windsor. His destiny, however, led him on a different path. Alan, who is always on time, has become a local celebrity in Zagreb. He loves his job and the role he has to play. The bells of the churches in Zagreb can be heard only after Alan has fired the cannon. Zagreb's cathedral has closely followed this town's fate. Its towers, over 100 meters high, have surely got your attention by now. The construction of the cathedral began in 1093. But the church was destroyed by the Tartars in 1242. It was rebuilt and it stood tall for many centuries until an 8-degree magnitude earthquake struck Zagreb in 1880. Zagreb Cathedral underwent a thorough reconstruction, which went on for 26 years before it was finally finished in 1906. Then an Austrian architect was sent for to reconstruct and modernize the building in the neo-Gothic style. The Cathedral of the Assumption of the Virgin Mary is the largest in Croatia. 5,000 people can step inside. On one of the walls you will discover a text written in Glagolitic letters. The Glagolitic alphabet is one of the 3 scripts used by Croats, along with the Cyrillic and Latin script. Cardinal Stepinac, a martyr of the Croatian Church and a symbol of the persecutions which priests endured during the communist regime, is buried in Zagreb's cathedral. He led the Archbishop of Zagreb from 1937 to 1960. Cardinal Stepinac opposed Hitler during World War II and decided to help the Jews. He was later persecuted by the communist regime led by Josip Tito. In 1998, he was declared a martyr and beatified by Pope John Paul II. Ivan Meštrović, the Croat artist who made the equestrian statue of King Charles I of Romania, which was placed in front of the Royal Palace in Bucharest, today the National Museum of Art, dedicated to Cardinal Stepinac a sculpture made from marble brought from the island of Brač, a material of which it is said has been used for the White House in Washington. Among the sculptures inside the huge Zagreb Cathedral, one is different. It is the Last Supper, but a dog and a cat are right under the table. Zagreb is a small and stylish town with many museums. The Museum of Broken Relationships is truly unique. Sad and amusing at the same time, the Museum of the Relationships which were not meant to be is the only one of its kind in Europe. In 2011, it received the Kenneth Hudson Award for the most innovative museum in Europe. The Museum of Broken Relationships puts on display objects that have been left behind after breakup from all over the world, donated by people who remain anonymous. Each item is accompanied by a tale that brings it to life and explains its meaning. There is not a person on earth who cannot relate to the Museum of Broken Relationships. Not far from it, you can visit the Croatian Museum of Naive Art. It is considered to be the first of this kind in the world. Paintings, sculptures, drawings and prints, mostly by Croat artists but also worldwide, can be seen every day except for Mondays. If you are in Zagreb during Saturdays or Sundays, at the same time you hear the cannon from the Losterchak Tower, you will see people gather in front of St. Mark's Church in the upper town. What happens there is a captivating ceremony, the changing of the guards, a must-see event. The soldiers belong to the Kravat regiment, the light cavalry regiment which introduced the necktie, kravat as it is called, a fashion accessory. Then the soldiers march through the streets of the town. In Zagreb, you can always take a walk in the park. In summer, when temperatures outside can be roasting, people prefer the freshness of the old plane trees in Zrinjevac Park. They are more than 100 years old. Surely the meteorological column will catch your eye. It was built in 1884 in Vienna and assembled right here in Zagreb. It still shows accurately the weather conditions. Zrinjevac Park is liveliest in the evenings, when it vibrates to the sound of music. The music pavilion has been here since 1891. Friday nights, the alleys in Zrinjevac are too narrow for dancers of all ages. But every road leads to Old Zagreb. It is where we are going right now, led by our guide Marija Jurić.
Good evening, I'm Marija Jurić, but everybody knows me much better under my pseudonym Zagorka. I'm a first Croatian journalist, female journalist, and, as they say, famous novelist. I can lead you through secrets of Grič every Saturday, and I really hope to see you on my next tour. We can all together discover secrets of Grič.
She was born in 1873 and took the pen name Zagorka. She was a writer and the first female journalist in Croatia. To this day, her books are some of the most read in Croatia, but none of her works was translated into English. On summer evenings, Marija Jurić Zagorka shows people a different side of Zagreb. The secrets of Grič reveal the mystical Zagreb. It is a guided night tour intertwined with old stories of damsels, knights and witches told by the light of lanterns.
Help me, please!
Since today it is a beautiful day, why not spend it in the open air? We are heading to the huge Maksimir Park, more than 200 years old. Here we visit one of the few zoological gardens in Europe, situated in the heart of a town.
To je samo fotografija,
Ne, kamera, snima.
Znači sad ćemo internacionalno poznati.
Je, naravno.
Kad bi je hvatalo, bilo bi sjajno.
Zagreb Zoo, opened in 1925, is 7 hectares large and a quarter of its surface is covered with water. It is very well kept and its mascot will surely bring a smile on your face. Everybody falls in love with little Euro, a friendly and playful lemur. Sadly, Euro belongs to an endangered species. He is now 3 months old and he was born here at the zoo. Since his mother was old and unable to take care of him, he has been adopted by the zoo's nutritionist. In 2012, 57 animal cubs were born at the Zagreb Zoo. Zagreb Zoo is a member of the World Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and it is a participant in the European Endangered Species Program. It hosts educational programs for children and students, various events or theme days, even humanitarian projects. The zoo is open every day, including weekends and holidays.
Hi, hello, we are Julian and Jasna, and I would like to welcome all Romanian people to Zagreb and to visit our zoo garden in Zagreb.
People who appreciate nature, history and mystery will surely appreciate Zagreb for its variety and elegance. And not far from it, there are green hills and romantic castles. It only takes a day for this special trip. We head to Zagorje, where we'll see the Ethnologic Museum Kumrovec, Veliki Tabor and Trakošan castles, and the Neanderthal Museum. The village of Kumrovec is famous as the birthplace of Josip Tito, the ex-president of Yugoslavia. He was born here in 1892. The main tourist attraction of Kumrovec is the Ethnologic Open Space Museum. The houses, restored and rebuilt, offer an insight over the way in which people used to live. Each house represents a moment from the life of the village at the beginning of the 20th century. Neanderthal Museum in Krapina is also a must-see. It was opened in 2010. When you enter the museum, a short film takes you into the story of man. step, you are then invited to pass through geological periods. A true time machine, the Neanderthal Museum in Krapina sets the clock back and helps you understand how life evolved on Earth, starting with the creation of the world, from the Big Bang to the modern time. Krapina Neanderthal Museum is built at Husnjakovo Hill, where, at the beginning of the 20th century, Croatian scientist Dragutin Gorjanović Kramberger found the largest collection of fossil bones of Neanderthals in the world. At the end of your visit, you can have a very special souvenir, a picture of yourself as a Neanderthal man. And now, back to more recent times. Guardian of a breathtaking view, Veliki Tabor, the name can be translated as the Big Camp, is a fortress which was first built during the 12th century. But the castle has got its final appearance in the 16th century, when it was the residence of an important Croatian family, Ratkai family. The castle is impressive both because of its appearance and because of the tragic and romantic stories behind it.
The castle was built at the beginning of 16th century, and it was owned by Ratke family, and they lived here for 300 years. They died out at the end of the 18th century. First written document that was preserved is a grand certificate of John Corvinus, and he gave this castle to Pavel Ratkai for his military achievements, and this is the first mention of the name of this castle, and it was dated in 1502, but we think that it was built earlier, especially this central tower, because it belonged by its stylistic forms to late Gothic. So we think that maybe it was built in 15th century. Tabor is very famous about the legend of Veronica of Desenic. And the story talks about Friedrich of Cilli, Count of Cilli, and Veronica. Friedrich was wealthy count from very rich family, and Veronica was a poor girl.
Poor but beautiful girl.
Yes, right. Of course. But they fell in love.
Of course.
But this love was very much disfavored by his father, Hermann of Cilli. But Friedrich and Veronica secretly get married, and they also get a son, John. But his father, Hermann, soon finds out about this wedding and set an army to capture the lovers. So they get Friedrich and imprisoned him in a tower of town of Celje in Slovenia. But they also get Veronica and take her here in Veliki Tabor when they killed her. They drowned her. She was accused of being a witch. Yes, this old Count Hermann accused her of being a witch, and she put a spell on his son because he will never fall in love in some poor girl. And they drowned her here in the courtyard of Veliki Tabor, and they then walled up her body in the walls of this tower, central tower. So visitors who came here at the night and the evenings, and when the wind blows, says that you even today can hear a silent cries of our poor Veronica.
Give me the shivers.
Yes.
So these are the characters of the story.
Yes, this is not just a legend. It's based on true events.
One castle is never enough. Trakošan is one of the best preserved historic buildings in Croatia. It is located on a rather steep hill, but the beautiful panorama that you see once you get there is worth the effort. It was built in the 13th century as a small fortress serving as an observation post. As it passed from one owner to another, it was expanded and extended, and it acquired its present appearance in the 19th century. Now a museum open to the public, Trakošan Castle contains valuable examples of Baroque furniture, weapons and several other items. To Zagreb, where Jarun Lake is a very popular place, especially in summer, because you can even swim there. A retreat from city life, Jarun Lake is reachable by public transport. On the Jarun Lake, you can do jogging, swimming, kayaking and other sports, or just enjoy the sun. In June every year, a very popular open-air festival, In Music Festival, is held here on the shores of Lake Jarun. There are 6 different stages which host different musical genres: camping, wireless internet, food and drink stalls. Special treats are also available for those who would rather sit down and enjoy an opera performance, for instance, or maybe some jazz or other kind of entertainment. Opera Under the Stars is the name of one of the biggest concerts in Zagreb. It celebrated 10 years of existence in 2012. The main purpose of this manifestation is none other than to make opera popular. And the statistics show that it has succeeded. Around 4,000 people come every year for this special evening. Evenings in Grič is one of the reasons to stay a little bit more in Zagreb, not just to pass through. It is one of the oldest festivals in Zagreb. It has been organized continuously since 1982 in the Upper Town, from the end of June until the beginning of August. All kinds of music styles, classical music, jazz, ethno music, can be heard here. It is a multicultural event. Foreigners are invited as well. Most of the concerts are done in the atrium of Klović Court, where there are 500 seats. In the Upper Town, the popular Strossmayer Promenade hosts a colorful event. Summer on Stross, or Strossmartre, happens throughout the summer for more than 10 years. It attracts citizens and guests of Zagreb alike. Summer on Stross means 100 days of free concerts, artists' workshops where everyone who would like to join is welcome, and great wine.
distance. I just can't handle the distance. I just can't run to you and crazy little thing called love. Yeah, crazy little thing called love. Yeah, crazy little thing called love.
And so, we've made our way through Zagreb. Just one small conclusion. Getting to Zagreb, it's easy. Leaving it is the tough part.